Hey everyone, it's Vinny, and I have a haul video. I've got some stuff from thrift stores, eBay, AC Moore, Dollar Tree, and Ollie's Bargain Outlet. I did have a video uploaded yesterday, but after watching it, I realized that my camera had a glitch, and it was freezing. It made my voice pretty deep at one point. It was pretty funny, actually, but I decided to take it down because it wasn't really good. So I'm refilming it today. And before I get started with the haul, I want to show you my new phone that I got. And I also want to talk to you guys about thrifting where I am now as opposed to where I was. So, where I was before, I lived in, I guess you could say, a suburb of a city, like maybe the city limits. And, the area that I lived in and grew up in was, I guess you could say, very expensive to live in. It was suburb of DC, so that kind of explains that. And they were getting a lot of high-end stuff into the thrift stores because, a lot of the people, made decent money. So they were able to get, really nice electronics, toys, etc. So I was finding great stuff for Amazon all the time when I went to Salvation Army and Goodwill. And I guess you could say the real reason, I guess, people thrifted in my area was, not only to save money on stuff, but it was more of a want, like more of a treasure hunt, like, hey, I don't really need this, but I'm going to get it anyway. Where I am now, thrifting is more for you need it, because people up here don't really make as much as someone would if you lived where I used to. So they don't really get in as much nice stuff, and if they do, it's either really beat up or, even I think it's a little expensive. But personally, if I see a Coach bag that's authentic for $20 in a thrift store, I'm sure somebody would probably think that was too much. But, and I also go to, when we went the other day, they had, we hit the Salvation Armies and the Goodwills that are in the area too. And a lot of it, like I said, is stuff that people need rather than stuff that people want, like a bunch of the new toys and whatnot. Prices are pretty darn cheap compared to where they were before. Don't get me wrong, prices were still pretty good at my thrift stores, but here it's much cheaper, but the stuff is not the greatest in terms of, it's like somebody had an estate sale or yard sale and just dumped it off. Like, I feel like a lot of the Goodwills and Salvation Armies around here, they get local donations. It doesn't go through it doesn't get sent off to a distribution center priced and then sent back to the stores. I feel like it's more, you donate it and then it goes into the back room of the store and then it gets priced and then it gets put out, as opposed to going to the distribution center. So yeah, a lot of local donations, and we live in a newer development area of this town that we live in. So we're in a newer, cleaner area. Not that the downtown parts are not clean, but it's not as old. This is an updated part of the area. So yeah, that kind of explains that. And also, my phone had a problem, so I had to send it back to the manufacturer, and I got a new one. This is the Samsung Galaxy S6, and the color is called Blue Sapphire. If that'll ever focus. There we go. I'll take it out so you guys can see it. It's actually a really, really neat color. Other sellers who have this for sale are listing it as topaz, blue topaz. And I tried getting one of these for a long time, and I finally found a seller that was selling it for a decent price. So I paid about $230, which is a pretty good deal considering what the phone companies are trying to do now and make you pay $1 million for the phone outright, or you could just pay like $50 a month for the rest of your life. Excuse me. So here's what it looks like. It hasn't been activated yet. I have to reactivate it. I gotta put my SIM card and stuff in it. But isn't that a really cool color? I love this thing. And I can't wait to use it again. I gotta get all my apps and stuff put onto this phone. eBay, Amazon, Wish, Periscope, Instagram, all that stuff. So yeah, that's my phone and just kind of like what thrifting is about in my area now. So I might not do as well in the thrift stores as I used to, but I have a feeling that garage sales are going to be pretty darn good up here. So I think I'll still have some luck finding some stuff. So yeah, that's kind of it for that. So let's get into the haul video, which is what you all are here for. Alright, not necessarily vintage, but my dad picked this out for me at the Goodwill that used to be near our house. It's a vintagey inspired mug by the brand of Fish's Eddy. He paid 99 cents for this, and when he showed it to me, I told him this looked identical to a shaving mug that I had picked up at an antique place up by Treasured Vintage. So that was pretty cool because now I can actually use this. And the shaving mug that I got was like a brown, kind of like the common souvenir novelty stuff that you would pick up in, I guess, gift shops back in the day. So I thought that was really neat, and it is literally identical to the shaving mug that I have. So for 99 cents, Dad said why not, and I might use it for a mug myself. Alright, so about a month or so ago, we had just moved to this house that we're in now, and I had to go back down to the area that I lived in because I was going to a wedding in Massachusetts. So I went down with my mom, and she went to work, and then she just told me, you can take the car and go thrifting if you want to. So I hit, all the thrift stores. I hit Ross, Burlington, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, all the stores that I knew where they were. And, I didn't find nearly as much as I would have liked. But if you guys can see, I guess I should have put that in the whole video. The Maryland that's behind me, wherever the heck, if I can point to it. You got her at Ross. I think I paid 11 something for her. There's a little bit of damage to it, but it's not noticeable. So I got her for 11 bucks, and I love her. And when I went to the thrift store again, I didn't find very much. But one of the things that I did find that I thought was really cool was this tumbler caddy from the late 50s, early 60s. It cost me a whopping, I don't know if it's going to show up because I have the window open for lighting. It was $1.99. It does have some rust and some of the finish is coming off, if you can see that or not. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a set of vintage Libby tumblers that are pretty mid-century and throw them in here and use it as a display piece. Because I've seen these before, and people want like $40 for a whole set of these with the glasses and everything, and I think that's just a ripoff. So even though this one's a little beat up, I decided to pick it up anyway because for $2, I thought that was a pretty good deal, and I can always find glasses for dirt cheap somewhere. Okay, so about 10 years ago, my dad went to an auction and he picked up some really cool scrapbooks from a lady who was local, and I believe she was born at around the turn of the century, like 1890s, early 1900s, because these scrapbooks had some pretty old stuff in them. So I'm going to show you guys what exactly was in these, and I only picked out a few things just because I didn't want a whole bunch of paper. But let's see what I can find here. I'm going to try to do this in order in which I did it the last time. Alright. So again, this didn't cost me anything. My dad just said take it. Alright, so here's a picture of I guess you could say, flapper girl. Her name was Edith, and this picture was taken in November of 1930. So we got that. This was really cool. I decided to snatch this. This is a newspaper cutout of a flapper girl, and her name is Edith Jurgensen? Yep, Edith Jurgensen of Denmark. So I thought that was kind of cool. This is somebody by the name of Mitzi Mayfair. She's dressed in a really low-cut dress and fur. Now, I don't know how women stayed warm in those days with dresses that low, unless you wore leggings or something. Now, this is for a Harvest of Baby Stars, a film publicity organization. I don't recognize any of the names on here, but I thought that was super, super cool. I just snatched a few other pictures here. This one I thought was kind of cool. It looks like a circus girl with a peacock. And then this one is just of a very pretty lady standing in front of a fireplace. Alrighty. Thought this was kind of neat. I don't know how I'm going to display it, but I thought it was cool nonetheless. Picture of a girl standing in front of a mirror, very 20s, 30s. Now, for some unknown reason, or not unknown reason, but This lady had a really big crush on Rudolph Valentino. He was an Italian movie star back in the I think it was the teens, 20s, and then probably the teens and the 20s, because he died when he was 31, and I think that was in 1926. So I thought that was kind of cool, and some of this stuff is pretty darn interesting. So here's the first cutout. This is from a magazine. Rudy Valentino. He was kind of the Brad Pitt of the teens and 20s. Here he is as a cowboy. I guess he did Western films too. I thought that was kind of cool. Here's he and his wife at the time. The stuff that they put in magazines back then is truly art. It's not like today where it's all digital and ugh. This stuff is truly art. Now, this one I saved for last because I do think it's a little creepy. When I was growing up, my grandmother had a bunch of Moxie stuff because she was from Massachusetts. Well, she and my grandfather were. And I remember as a kid, a lot of the Moxie stuff would be displayed, and he had really big bug eyes like this, and it used to really wig me out. Because in the family room, you walk in, and then there's the common area where, the sofa and the chairs and the lights and stuff are, and the TV. And then over on the other side of the room, she had all of her collectible dolls and her curio cabinet. And let me tell you, that part of the room was pretty spooky because all these big old bug eyes were staring at you every time you walked over. So it used to freak me out, and once we got rid of it, I felt better about going down there. But yeah, that's kind of the story with that. I mean, I think Rudy's kind of cool looking. He's Italian, of course, because I've got Italian blood. Okay, I think I got everything out of the way here. So now let me get to the thrift. Oh no, let me get to the other stuff that's not. Yeah. So at one of the thrift stores that we went to that was downtown, I got some vintage napkins for 99 cents. I'll take them out of the bags for you so you guys can see them. This one's Christmassy. This is like a really thick paper. So I've got about, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got 5 of these for 99 cents. It's just an angel holding a Christmas ornament. So I thought those were kind of cool. I'm going to keep one of them and I'm going to sell the rest off. Maybe I'll do 2, $3.99 free shipping just to get rid of them. Not going to be a huge investment, but for 99 cents I figured I'd keep one and then I'd make a little bit of money back. Now this one has a set of 3 different types of napkins in them. This one is the Esso Tiger. I'm not really sure if they're old or not, but I mean I can always take a guess that they are because I don't see Esso anymore. Come on, focus. There we go. And there are 1, 2, 3, maybe I think 7 I think when I counted yesterday. So I'll probably throw these up for $5, free shipping. Not the last set. These ones are a little girly. There are about 12 of these, so this will probably be like $5.99. These ones are like shabby chic-ish with an umbrella and a bunch of floral lace on it, so yep. Probably $4.99. These ones are kind of cool. Probably 50s or 60s Valentine's napkins. I might save them and list them around Valentine's Day, maybe late January. But I'm not sure if I get them listed now, it might be better because that way someone can have them for Valentine's Day. Again, 99 cents, so I'm definitely going to make some money if the stuff sells for what I want it to. Okay. From Ollies, I managed to get this really, really cool 100 years in the making, well actually it's called the 20th Century Timeline. And I had to return a few things to them, so I decided to snatch this while I could because I had a little bit of store credit. And they say that the other manufacturer's price was about $30 and they were asking $6.99. And with the store credit and the stuff that I had to return, I paid about like $4. $4 for this set. And what I thought was really, really funny was the fact that it has the Decade You Were Born bonus disc with it, which is significant because I actually have the set that I got from another Ollies for 49 cents a piece. And I don't know if this one has the bonus features like an episode from a classic TV show that was very famous back in the day, or the movies that were part of it. So if it doesn't have the movies or any of the bonus content on here, I'm going to keep the set that I have. But if it does have that, I'm definitely going to sell off that set, because I know I could probably get $13 for it, and I paid like a couple dollars. So that's the story with that. That was a pretty good find, I think. Now from the dollar store, you know, they don't really have a lot of stuff that's vintagey, or vintagey inspired. But I was perusing the store because it was one I'd never been into before, and I found a couple of these lanyards that I really, really like. Sorry, I'm not looking at the camera. I'm trying to make sure everything is squared away here. So I got this one right here, which I very much 1970s inspired. It's lemons and limes and ice cubes. This one, as you can see, was messed up in the packaging. It was supposed to look, well, actually, let me see if I can get it to look exactly like it was when I found it. It's supposed to look like that, but this is another pattern that I got. This one was very 70s with the citrus fruit, which I am a very big fan of. I love lemons, I love limes, lemonade, limeade, orange juice, I love all that stuff. So I got those each for $1 a piece, of course, dollar store. So I really liked those. Again, this one was really messed up on there, and it was actually at the very back of all of them. So I decided, you know, I like this one too. Might as well snatch it and make the display look good again. Okay, from one of the thrift stores, I think I got this at Salvation Army. I picked my aunt up this this 1970s lemon yellow D-handled Fire King mug, and that cost me a whopping $1. So I thought she would really, really like that. It's not cracked or chipped or anything. It's probably from the 70s, and she loves this shade of yellow, so I'm sure she's gonna like this. Then from another thrift store that I went to, I managed to get this for a friend who, I'm not sure if she's going to see this video or not, but I managed to swipe all of these vintage zippers for 10 cents a piece. And if you guys know who I'm talking about, she and her sister have an antique booth, and she and her sister make purses with these, which is a really cool craft, and I've even sent her some of these before. So I decided to snatch all the ones that I could, and there were 18 of them, so I only paid $1.80 for the bunch of them. So I'm excited to send those off to somebody, and I'm sure if she's watching this video, she knows exactly who she is. So I gotta get those out ASAP for her. Alright, from that same thrift store, I managed to snatch a vintage kitchen clock. This one is probably from the 1960s. It's made by West Clocks, made here in the US. I only paid $1 for it. I don't know if it'll show up. Yep, $1 for this clock. And I've kind of stopped liking the plastic kitchen clocks. I like the ones that are from the 40s and the 50s that are made of metal, and I have about 3 of those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lot this one along with the other plastic ones that I have, and I'm probably going to ask $29.99 for the whole set of 4 and see if someone will buy them. Again, that's just a guesstimate. I'm also going to do best offer, so if someone offers me something that I'm willing to accept, I will definitely take it. But I thought if I bought this one and I lotted it together, I could get more money. And the volunteer at the store tested it and said it works, which is great because that means that I can trust that it works. Alrighty. Okay, let me show you the piece that I got at AC Moore, which is a crafting store that's literally 5 minutes from my house. So all of their Halloween stuff is 40 to 50% off, and I saw this picture there the first time we went in there, and I debated whether or not to get it. But I said to myself, you know, I don't really need it, and then I went back there and there were still a ton of them there, so I decided to snatch it up. This one is called The Barn on a Hill, and it also could be classified as a haunted house. Now, if you have AC Moore near you, I would go check and see if they have one of these if you really like it. They were originally $40, but they were on sale for $14.99, which is what I paid. And let me show you guys what it looks like when it's lit up. It's pretty darn cool, if I can find the switch here. Isn't that cool? And I actually have another light up picture that I put up on the wall here. It's actually above the large beach picture. Set that down. Large beach picture above. It's above that small one with the lantern. That one lit up, and I got that one when I was at the beach this year for $17, which for a tourist town, that wasn't bad at all. Okay, now we're going to get into the eBay stuff. So, I found a dealer on eBay who was selling some 50s and 60s Coke trays, and we just did a flea market this past weekend, so I thought if I brought them there, I would sell them. And I managed to sell one. So I got the Menu Girl, 2 of the Menu Girls, and 2 of the Pansy trays, Daisy Pansy trays from 1961. So the guy was asking $29.99 or best offer, and he had about $11.30 to ship it. So what I did was I made him an offer of $18.70 and made a little message with the offer saying, you know, will you do the $18.70 so that way with the shipping it's $30 altogether. And of course he accepted, and I actually just sold one of the Menu Girls this past weekend for $15. I was gonna put $20 on them, and I did, and the guy offered me $15, and I said, I might have to think about that. So he walked away, and then he came back around a little while later, and I decided to take the $15 from him because I feel like he had made this trip all the way around to see if I would take it. So I said yeah, because I think he was giving it as a gift for his daughter, because you can't really sell these for that much, which is okay, because I don't mind that at all. I don't mind buying them online cheap and then selling them at a flea market. It's kind of like the reverse, like, you know, you buy stuff at a flea market to sell on eBay as opposed to buying stuff on eBay to sell at a flea market, which I've done before. I've bought many of these and sold them because not everyone has one. So yeah, I sold them for $15, sold the one for $15, so now I'm only $3.70 into this. So that means whatever else I make on these pretty much is going to be pure profit, which is awesome. And the last thing that I want to share with you all is something that I'm really excited to have, is this A&E Biography Legend of the Silver Screen box set. I paid $8.99 for this, and there are 8 biographies, which comes to about $1 something a piece, which is pretty darn good. And in this set, you get Humphrey Bogart, known as Bogey. You have Betty Boop, the flapper cartoon character from the 20s. James Dean, Rebel Without a Cause, Giant, East of Eden. Clint Eastwood, who did a lot of westerns, I think. Katharine Hepburn, who did a lot of movies with Spencer Tracy in the 30s and 40s. Paul Newman, very famous for Cat on a Hot Tin Roof with Liz Taylor and From the Terrace with Barbara Eden and his wife, Joanne Woodward. You have Robert Redford, who did a lot of films in the 50s and 60s with... No, actually, I think he did... it was in 1965 he did the film Inside Daisy Clover with Natalie Wood. And, of course, we have Shirley Temple, who helped Hollywood break free from the Depression era. So I thought that was a really good set, and I have seen Shirley Temple's biography before. I have not seen any of these other ones, so I'm really excited to watch these. And for $8.99, I thought that was a really good deal. I did watch a set on eBay exactly the same, it was the exact same thing, and they wanted $19.99 for it. And I saw this one and someone wanted $13.99 for it, or best offer, and I offered them $8.99, they took it. So that saved me some good money. I'm real excited about that. Excuse me. Pardon me. So yeah, that's everything that I managed to pick up in the last few weeks. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment below, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I'm still on the road to 1,000 subscribers. If you're interested in following me on other social media platforms, all that is in the description box below as well. So thank you all for watching.